Welcome back to the Enfield Talking Newspaper. Now we return to local news with Janet.
A memorial event will mark the anniversary of the deaths of 3 teenagers killed in a car crash on the A10. Jack Boyton and Harry Ferrand, both 17, and Ashley Jones, 19, died when the vehicle they were in collided with a parked lorry on the A10 near Hoddesdon in Cheshunt in November last year. The event is expected to attract hundreds of people to the estate where Jack's cafe stands, opened by Jack's mother, Sarah Boyton, in memory of her son in May. There will be raffles, rides and live music in honour of the trio. Mrs. Boyton said, "The cafe has been so popular since it opened 5 months ago. We've even had people visit from Australia and more than 1,000 followers on Facebook. It's overwhelming. This is going to be a massive day and we hope to see lots of people come along and celebrate the lives of the boy." Mrs. Boyton said, "It's unbelievable to think it's been a whole year since Jack passed. I don't think I will ever be able to come to terms with what happened. Opening the cafe in his name has got me through somewhat. Knowing I'm doing this in his memory has kept me going. Jack was such a popular boy, as they all were. He loved playing football and had just been offered a job. In addition to helping set up the cafe, friends of the teenagers have now started a football team, Elsinge FC, in their memory." Mrs. Boyton said, "It's fantastic they have set up a team and they will have Jack's cafe on the front of their shirts, which is such a lovely touch."
A new shoe store has created 9 jobs in Enfield. Hotter Shoes opened in Palace Gardens Shopping Centre, Enfield Town, recently. Retail Director John Nicholas said, "I am proud to say that the team we have employed in Enfield is both enthusiastic and dedicated. We are looking forward to giving our customers a warm welcome and a level of service which will really make us stand out." He added, "Shoppers will immediately notice the care and attention we devote to finding them shoes that fit perfectly. They will be leaving our store with a spring in their step and a smile on their face."
Research by a housing charity has found that only 1 in 100 homes for sale in Enfield are affordable to the average family. Shelter has discovered that just 16 out of 1,426 homes for sale in the borough were affordable for families, even assuming that they were able to save a large 20% deposit. The charity looked at the asking prices for all properties in the borough for sale on the zoopla.co.uk website on a single day in August and compared them with the mortgage that families, couples and single people on average local wages could afford as first-time buyers. The average income for a couple with children in Enfield is £34,976 and £51,060 for a couple without children, while single people earn on average £23,432. With the average house price in the borough at £290,082, the research found that the affordability threshold, calculated by taking into consideration average income of first-time buyers and a 20% deposit for a couple without children, was £212,539. The charity said the reality for many would be years spent in expensive and unstable private lets. Andy McGee of Slade's Close, Enfield, a part-time molecular biology student who works as a private tutor, and his wife Rachel, as research scientist, have been living with his parents and his brother since 2008. "It looks like we might be lucky to have something by the time we're 40, he said. "Our combined income has grown over the years, but there is still no way we can afford a deposit. We have stopped looking for rented properties because by paying rent there would be no way we could save up for a deposit. Shelter's research was critical of the government's Help to Buy scheme, which reduces a deposit on a property to 5%, but, according to the charity, means higher monthly mortgage costs and puts even more homes out of reach. Nick Dubois, Enfield North Tory MP, said Help to Buy is an important scheme because it will allow many people to get on the housing ladder. But the real issue, of course, is supply. We need to work harder on opening up brownfield sites, as well as urging councils who will sell properties through Right to Buy to build new homes with the money received from those sales.
A leading councillor has raised concerns over the safety of roadworks on the M25 after 4 accidents occurred on the same stretch of the motorway in 1 week. Chris Bond, Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for Environment, questioned whether the Highways Agency had carried out sufficient planning around roadworks after a lorry driver died and 4 workers were injured in separate incidents between junctions 24 and 25 of the motorway. Since February, the Highways Agency has been carrying out work between junctions 23 and 27, including installing a new concrete barrier and new lighting at junctions and resurfacing the road. Mr. Bond said he was particularly concerned about the fact that the works meant that in certain stretches the hard shoulder is now part of the motorway, something he said that the council had opposed. He told the Advertiser, "Making the hard shoulder part of the motorway means that when you have an accident, emergency vehicles have restricted access and the roads become completely blocked, which affects traffic well into our borough. They have restricted the use of the motorway in that stretch as a result of these works, but the question is, have they put sufficient planning into it? The number of accidents show that it is obvious that there's something wrong or missing." During this 1 week, a 60-year-old lorry driver died when his vehicle caught fire after exiting at the slip road and striking the near side barrier before overturning. No other vehicles were involved in the accident, which occurred at around 12:15 p.m. And soon after that, a lorry crashed into a barrier between junctions 24 and 25 anti-clockwise. No one was injured. Then another lorry, which was being driven anti-clockwise, crashed through the central reservation on the same stretch of the motorway at 9 o'clock in the morning, injuring 4 road workers. One of the men suffered potentially life-threatening leg injuries. He was flown to Addenbrooke's Hospital in Cambridge, where he remains in a critical condition. Another man was taken to Chase Farm Hospital in the Ridgeway, Enfield, and later discharged. A third man was taken to a central London hospital with a leg injury and remains there. The 4th man received treatment at the scene for minor injuries. A 49-year-old man was arrested on suspicion of causing serious injury by dangerous driving and was bailed to return to a North London police station in December. Most of the road was closed until 8 o'clock in the evening. And finally, there was another accident, also between junctions 24 and 25, involving 1 car. Investigations by the Metropolitan Police, the Highways Agency and the Health and Safety Executive continue. The Highways Agency said it was unable to comment at this time. A spokesman said, "Our thoughts are with those involved in the incidents between junctions 23 and 25 of the M25. In light of ongoing investigations, it would not be appropriate to comment further. The £188 million works are expected to be completed in December 2014.
A high-profile councillor has described the council's refusal to reveal details about an investigation into SATS test at a borough primary school as a grubby business. Conservative Henry Lampshed has slammed council chiefs for their reticence over various aspects of an investigation into what the authority had described as issues surrounding the administration of Level 6 SATS exams at Eversley Primary School in Chaseville Park Road, Winchmore Hill. In July, the Advertiser revealed that pupils had sat Level 6 SATs, even though no children from the school had been officially entered into the national tests. However, they sat an exam as if it was the official paper. Although the investigation has concluded, Enfield Council has refused to say where the test paper for Level 6 entrance, which the council sat, was obtained. A council spokeswoman insisted, "The Standards and Testing Agency has confirmed there is no obligation on the local authority to provide information about any other schools which may or may not have been implicated." However, Mr Lampshett, who represents Southgate Green Ward, is calling on the council and the school to launch another independent investigation, which, he argues, should be carried out by a body with no vested interest in the matter. He said, if Eversley has nothing to hide, they should not object to another school or another local authority coming in to investigate exactly what went on. Really, it would put them in the clear. This is a very grubby business, and it is slowly undermining people's confidence in the school. His demand for further action came on the same day that the council admitted that a complaint was received recently by the STA over Key Stage 1 exams at the same school. A council spokeswoman confirmed that the complaint had been passed to the local authority to investigate. She added a thorough investigation was carried out and concluded that there was no case to answer and that the school's practice is exemplary. The STA has commended Enfield Council for his comprehensive and thorough investigation and report into this matter. The report into this investigation will be published on the school's website after November 19.
A rundown housing estate will be given a new lease of life after a multi-million-pound deal was agreed with a developer. The distinctive coloured towers on the Alma estate in Ponders End will be demolished to make way for 800 new private and shared ownership homes. The council chose developer Countryside Properties to take on the £150 million project. Sitting adjacent to Ponders End railway station, the site will also see new shops, community facilities and play areas. Around a quarter of the new homes will be owned by Enfield Borough Council, and a brand new 12-storied tower will replace the current multicoloured blocks. Councillor Ahmet Oykana, Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for Housing, said this £150 million investment will revive this part of Enfield, providing first-class affordable family homes and state-of-the-art facilities. The appointment of Countryside Properties takes us a big step forward towards rebuilding the estate, creating a greener, safer and brighter neighbourhood. Our local community has a vital role to play in shaping the plans, and we have written to our residents explaining how they can get involved. Now that a developer has been selected, it won't be too long before progress is made. Our vision is significantly to improve Ponders End and strengthen the sense of community so that it becomes one of the most family-friendly and desirable places to live in London. We are well on the way to achieving that goal, and the redevelopment of the Alma estate is a vital element to achieving our vision. Richard Cherry, Countryside Properties Deputy Chairman, said, "We are very excited about continuing our involvement in Enfield and working with our partners, Enfield Council and Newlon Housing. We look forward to engaging and involving residents and the wider community to create a successful new development in Ponders End."
Oakwood businesses are coming together at the end of the month to hold a spectacular fundraiser. The Bramley Bonanza is being organised and sponsored by family business Sprint Printers and Stationers of Bramley Road. The 3-day event will raise money for Inclusive Theatre Company Chicken Shed, which is based in nearby Chaseside, and Nightingale Cancer Support Centre, which has a shop in Bramley Road. Event organiser Danny Gabriel said, "We have hosted a Valentine's Ball for the North London Hospice, and that was a really good event. We wanted to do something on our parade to let people know how many diverse businesses there are. We have butchers, bakers, dry cleaners, all the shops you would want in a parade. But when we speak to people from outside the area, they don't know about the parade. They only know about the tube station." The Bramley Bonanza will include fun events for children, in the parade, and special Christmas treats will be on sale, including sweet trees and cakes. And Enfield Southgate MP David Burrows will lead a storytime session at Oakwood Library in Bramley Road. Trent Park Golf Club will host 2 children's Christmas parties, complete with a bouncy castle and art and craft sessions. And finally, there will be a grand raffle drawn by Britain's Got Talent finalist Stavros Flatley at Sprint Printers and Stationers, and Santa will be giving out gifts to children. We want to hold the event over 3 days so that everyone in the community can enjoy it, added Danny. We hope to bring the community together with lots of family events, so it's not just one day out.
A new head teacher has vowed that her school will become a forerunner in education after it was criticised in an Ofsted report. Helen Pearson joined Debone Primary School in Green Road, Southgate in January after inspectors labelled it inadequate. But the 39-year-old hopes the teamwork she has implemented has instilled a fresh optimism in the school. Pupils believe their new head has transformed their learning experiences, something she hopes to extend to more children. She said, "We want to change the mindset of the community and become the forerunner in education in Enfield. I want Debone to become a school of choice. Teachers should know what is expected of them. Likewise, it's important that we set out clear targets for pupils to reach. We want them to take pride in their work." October 2012 Ofsted report placed the school in special measures, saying the teachers' expectations of pupils were too low and monitoring of teaching was not rigorous enough. It also cited poor attendance and low standards of reading, writing and mathematics across both key stages. But now the school is awash with colourful displays of work from all year groups, and parents can also view uploads of their children's schoolwork online. The recent Ofsted updates from January and June this year say that Debone is on the right track and making progress towards being taken out of special measures. The school has also adopted a peer mentoring system, which acts as a support for any child who encounters difficulties. Mrs. Pearson, who has already taken a Yorkshire school from special measures to outstanding, vowed that the hard work would continue. She added, "This is a team effort. We have been working with parents and networking with other schools to bring the best features here. Those little people matter. Watch this space."
A Southgate author's debut sleuth thriller has shot to success, and much of the book was inspired by her career in Haringey Police. Sue McNeil's My Soul to Keep has reached the #1 ranking in the Woman's Sleuth category and #3 in the Mystery category in the Amazon Kindle charts. The book is the first in a series featuring Detective Sergeant Alex Brady, an amputee searching for the missing niece of her Assistant Chief Constable. The 46-year-old author of Osage Lane previously worked in the court service and later with the Met Police at Wood Green, Hornsey and Tottenham police stations. Liaising with officers provided me with the basis of general characterisation, she said. In the book, when the canteen is clattering or office banter is described, it's accurate. I know, I was there. I've seen relationships develop between colleagues and what happens when it goes wrong. I know what impact a cut in the overtime budget can have on morale. Inspired by a love of words and storytelling and motivated to write a book by her children, Sue says she's surprised her efforts have received such a positive reception. There has to be some point in investing all those hours into reading, she said. It made me wonder if I could write essentially a book with a female protagonist with issues that we can relate to. Family, work, relationships and self-worth. Reviewers have said that they like Alex Brady. They want to know how her relationship develops. She has very quickly been taken to readers' hearts. As a few disabled literary heroines spring to mind, Sue hopes D.S. Brady can serve as a form of inspiration. If Alex inspires somebody with a disability to strive for what they really want to achieve, or encourage another to give somebody a chance, regardless of a disability, then I will be very happy with that little legacy. And having signed a second contract with Endeavour Press, the future is looking bright for Sue and for D.S. Brady.
MPs in the borough are encouraging those over 65 to get vaccinated against flu as the cold winter months set in. Last year, 73% of people aged 65 and over had the jab. And at a Westminster Flu Day, MPs championed the NHS seasonal programme that gives out vaccinations to the elderly. In Enfield, 52% of those in the at-risk category received a flu vaccination last winter. Enfield North MP Nick Dubois said flu can be a very serious illness for certain groups of people. I would, therefore, encourage all those that are over the age of 65 or are in one of the at-risk groups to visit their surgeries and get vaccinated. The seasonal flu vaccination is important to help protect those people who are more susceptible to serious complications or even death from flu. Edmonton MP Andy Love said, I'm encouraging people to protect themselves against flu this winter as it poses a large risk to public health. For many, it can be life-threatening, and I want to ensure that those who are entitled to the flu jab take it up.
One man is bringing the style and panache of the 1950s motoring experience to the borough. Former teacher John Wilshire of Chase Riding's Enfield, who regularly rides around in his 1959 Sunbeam Alpine, has reached the final 5 in the National Classic Car Competition. The classic car devotee is thrilled that his vintage automobile which was built nearly half a century ago in the Roots factory in Coventry, has been recognised as one of the finest in the country, and says it is the car's history that marks it out as a rarity. This particular car is a prototype which was made for the factory testing programme, said John, explaining that manufacturers always build a prototype to test when a new car is built. However, these few survive unscathed, and John knows of no other model of this particular 1959 Sunbeam Alpine in existence. It escaped the fate of most other test cars as the factory sold it to racing driver Bernard Unet in 1962. The engineer was a 3 times British touring car champion and scooped up the car for racing. In the course of his racing career, he even beat Formula One world champion Jackie Stewart in one race. Explaining his passion for lavishing TLC on his car, John told the Advertiser, I have loved cars ever since I was a little boy. There is something about antique cars. Modern cars are all the same, but with classic cars it's closer to a real motoring experience. The final of the competition will be held in Birmingham's NEC.
More than 8,000 people enjoyed fireworks at Enfield Town Park. A surprise guest, Tottenham Hotspur's mascot, Chirpy, lit the fuse for half an hour of fireworks, after which crowds were dazzled by a new laser show. As well as the pyrotechnics, spectators were entertained by local band True Bangra Beats and other attractions. One casualty of recent wet weather was the large funfair, as the rides were too heavy to be moved onto the soft field. Paul Simons, District Commissioner for Organisers, Enfield Scouts, said, I'm very pleased we were able to go ahead and deliver a spectacular and safe display. My thanks to the fireworks team who overcame many difficulties. Event organiser Mark Dowsett said, it was a brilliant show this year, thanks to the support of our many volunteers who gave up their time to make it possible for families to see a fantastic and safe show for less than the cost of a box of fireworks. All proceeds from the event will support scouting in Enfield. St John's Ambulance reported a quiet evening despite the high numbers of people in the park.
a homeless charity which aims to provide shelter for rough sleepers over the winter months, will hold its first public meeting shortly. The Enfield Winter Night Shelter, a church-backed initiative, is hoping to launch next year and is encouraging residents and traders to attend a public meeting at St John the Evangelist Church in Bourne Hill, Palmer's Green. The event has been organised by umbrella charity All People, All Places, based in Whiteman Road, Hornsey. It registered as a charity in 2010 and is planning to launch the initiative in Enfield in December 2014. We would like to invite local businesses, churches and residents to come and see how we can get this initiative off the ground together. We want the whole borough to get involved. The Reverend Stephen Leader, Vicar of St John's and Chairman of the Enfield Winter Night Shelter, said, "The shelter is using the Haringey All People, All Places tried and tested model that not only helps take people off the streets in winter, but has an 87% success rate in rehousing the beneficiaries." The initiative has received the backing of Edmonton MP Andy Love, Enfield North Mr Nick Dubois, and David Burrows, MP for Enfield Southgate. Mr Burrows said, "I very much welcome the Enfield Church's Winter Shelter project, which I have helped initiate through the Enfield Good Samaritan Network. Haringey has provided welcome shelter in winter months, and we now have the opportunity in Enfield."
We've reached the end of our programme for this week. Thank you for listening. So from the team of Janet, John, Sally, Keith and Robin on the controls, it's goodbye.
Bye.
Please remember to turn over the address label in your postal packet, put the cassette into the packet and return it to us as soon as possible, in readiness for the next edition. Don't forget you can call Diane de Jersey regarding any help you may require in connection with Enfield Talking Newspaper. The Enfield Talking Newspaper will be with you again in 1 week's time.